We just saw The Mummy.
There you go. That movie was ass.
What the fuck was this?
I may have wasted my money. I don't know.
What? I don't even. Let's talk about The Mummy. Hey guys, AJYT Abbott here, and yeah, welcome to the review for The Mummy. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I saw this with my friend last night. At the time I'm filming this review, it's the next day. What in the world? I don't know where to even begin on this movie. There will be spoilers. It feels like Lee Cronin wanted to make another Evil Dead movie, but they said no. But he already had the script, so it's like, well, I'm just gonna throw in some Egyptian themes in here, and some mummy imagery like sarcophaguses and in Egypt and everything, and we'll have a mummy movie. Throughout the 2-hour and 15-minute runtime, first off, way too long. It goes on for way too long. Jack Rayner plays a father that loses his daughter. She gets kidnapped, and him and his wife and their 2 kids later, 8 years later, they hear that they have found Katie, their daughter that was lost. So they go to see her, and it turns out that she was found in a sarcophagus, and she was wrapped up like a mummy. And the doctors, break it down for him like, hey, she's erratic. She is not making sense of, what she's doing. She's moving, contorting her body different ways and having very strong reactions to everything. No sudden movements, no big, strong gestures, no shocks to the system. You need to be very, very gentle with her. That being said, I'm going to send you home with her now. What? I'm sorry. This girl is not in any position to be taken home. Why would you not actually, take your time in getting her back on her feet, getting the family back to being, familiar with her, and have, try to make some kind of recovery happen before you just send her off with them. And as soon as they get her home, they're, getting the wheelchair up the stairs. I'm like, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. It's like, you guys are not being fucking gentle at all. I don't understand this, the way that they're thinking in this movie. And horrifying shit happens all throughout this movie, and not once do the characters call the infirmary or the police or anything. This movie, it feels like the way it's edited, I hate the editing of this movie, because it feels like after a big event happens, we will cut to a different scene in the middle of that, or it feels like it's in the middle of that scene. We'll cut to a different scene, and then we'll go to the next day. So it's like we're missing pieces of the movie. The little girl, Katie, the mummy inside of her, it's basically a demon. It's a demon that possesses her. So we're doing The Exorcist, we're doing a bit of The Omen in here, we're doing a bit of Evil Dead. There's hardly, this movie is 10% mummy. It's missing all of the mummy attributes that you need. And I'm not saying this needed to be like a Brendan Fraser mummy movie, because I was not expecting that. If she was not in a sarcophagus, then there wouldn't be any semblance of a mummy story here. And she's wrapped up in these bandages that have this Egyptian language on it. That's a little bit of something. We get to see a tape where this cult lowers this little girl into the sarcophagus with this other mummy, and they transfer the demon out of this mummified body to this little girl. It's a unique way to go for a mummy movie, but there isn't enough mummy content in it. Anyway, as soon as they get her home, as soon as they get Katie home, she immediately starts off by headbutting the grandmother that they're living with, and she's floating out of the bed, kind of like she's Reagan in The Exorcist. Okay, let's call somebody. Let's take her somewhere. Nope. Next day, they are trimming her toenails, and the toenail rips off, and you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be the gross out thing where the toenail rips off of the toe. I was like, okay, I've kind of seen this bit from the trailer. But no, it actually kind of goes a bit further than that, which I did enjoy. It was unexpected. It actually just starts peeling the flesh right off of her fucking leg. Because, she's clamping down on these tweezers trying to get the nail off, and then she yanks it, and then it just tears flesh right off of her. I'm like, alright, that is nasty. I wasn't expecting that. This movie is filled with nasty imagery. All over the place. Gross out stuff all over it. And some of it is really, really well done. The effects of it are pretty damn good. The visual effects in terms of the digital stuff, like the sand and these coyotes that are in it for like 2 minutes, really bad. It did not look good. But in terms of the practical stuff, I mean, really well done. It's gross. It's very, very disturbing and unsettling. It's a lot of things going in people's mouths, bugs, pulling teeth out, chewing on things that's not meant to be chewed on. At one point, after the grandma has been headbutted and then sees this chick's flesh getting peeled off, she like still is around this child and still praying for her and everything, to the point where Katie gets up and starts choking her with her crucifix, her cross or whatever, and throws her out the window and kills her. And then after that, they don't do anything. They just make it up like it was an accident, like she fell out the window onto the truck, even though we all know that's not what happened. And they have the funeral inside of the house with this little girl. Fucking morons. The little girl starts like going through the bottom of her floor into the room under it where everyone is at for this funeral. No one sees fucking anything until she starts like making the other little girl that she's possessed tear out her teeth, and then she takes the grandma's teeth out of her mouth that's in the coffin and puts it in her mouth and then bites a priest. The grandmother gets like her neck gets bitten into by Katie. She like drops down and starts biting into her neck. And then later on in the movie, these dumbasses didn't even take the coffin out of the house. Why did you leave the body in there? Like you guys are asking for some horrible shit to happen, because soon, in an Evil Dead way, they pretty much become Deadites, because the grandmother gets up and she's like possessed and she's talking to the dad like, "You wanna fuck me, Charlie? Well, fuck me." Like, moving away from the stupidity and the chaos of what's happening there, we have this side plot where this cop is trying to look into who kidnapped Katie in the first place and trying to track her down. And I actually found this part of the movie far more interesting than the actual like main plot with the family. That was far more engaging to me. The sequence when she's going into the woman's house and she's chasing around, she finds her and they find this box, and that's how she gets the videotape to see the cult shit happening on there. But then that eventually has to tie around into the main plot where she goes to the house and they show the tape to the parents, and shit starts kicking off where all of a sudden the brother is possessed. Obviously you have the youngest daughter, she's possessed because she was tearing her teeth out and shit earlier, and there are so many fucking crazy things happening here in this third act. It is a mess. It is an absolute mess. The brother is possessed. I don't know how he gets possessed. It's kind of like done off screen where like she gets inside of his headphones and is talking to him, and then the next time we see him, he is bashing his head against the bed. What? Like, I swear to God, the movie feels like it's like 10 minutes of it cut out after every big scene. And Katie starts ripping her flesh off, and so she looks, a bit more crazy than usual, even more crazy than usual. The mother, the father, and the cop, they're trying to get in there, but you have the granny that's possessed, like, "You wanna fuck me?" She's getting Charlie, and then she even fucks up the cop and puts a scorpion in her throat, and then the scorpion punches through her throat, and then she like is kind of badass where she like gets the scorpion. I don't know how the logistics of that work, of her reaching inside of her neck and getting the scorpion, because the length, I fuck it. And then she gets the scorpion out and starts talking, pressing on her neck so she can talk, and she conveniently memorized the chants from the videotape to transfer the soul from Katie to the father. The father sacrifices himself. I'm sorry, because he feels responsible, because he's the one that was with her when she was abducted. So the soul is transferred into the father. Katie is freed of this, all the flesh tearing and all that shit. It's cured. She's fine. She's 100% fine. Next time we see her, she is coloring and doing her board games with her little kids, with her siblings. The son, who was hitting his head up against the bed and probably causing numerous like internal, hemorrhages and who knows what the fuck else, concussions. He's good, he's straight. And then the little girl that took all of her teeth out, she just has teeth again. So I don't, it's like I said, 10 minutes of the movie gets cut out about every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes, it's like 10 minutes of the movie just gets cut out. And it ends with them getting revenge on the woman that took Katie in the first place. They wheel the father in there, and then they have him, they transfer the mummy, the demon soul, out of the father into this chick that kidnapped Katie in the first place. I would love to have seen that plane ride when the father's on there just possessed sitting there. And the father is not going to rise up and do any of the crazy shit possess people like Katie did. Makes no fucking sense. I hate it. And it was a stupid ass way to wrap this whole thing up, because it makes no sense. Why would it work with them to get revenge? It's stupid. The Mummy's getting 3 out of 10 because I expected a lot more from this. I didn't think this was going to be groundbreaking or anything. I didn't think it would be better than the original Mummy films with Brendan Fraser, because it doesn't have any ties to that, so I wasn't going into there with that mindset. But the filmmaking is good. A lot of split diopter shots. We might want to cut back on those next time, Lee. It was a bit much. Acting from the girl that plays Katie, pretty good. You have the cop lady. She was good. I actually found her character more interesting than anything else that was happening in the movie. And yeah. Big gore fest, big disgusting moments, but a screenplay that is filled with plot holes and ridiculously stupid characters. Overly dumb characters that don't belong in this situation. If they were a little bit less dumb and they were making kind of rational choices with some decisions that made sense, sure. But they make no decisions in this movie that make sense. So that's going to be it for this review. Sorry if it ran a little bit long, but I had a lot to say about this one. Let me know what you thought of Lee Cronin's The Mummy down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Hee hee!